I was shocked, actually, pleasantly surprised to get a package yesterday in the mail. Hello friends, it's me and the cats on this rainy Sunday day. I wanted to give an update because less than 2 weeks ago I sent in my NutriMill grain mill because it had broken doing popcorn, and I made a little video that you can watch. It's about grinding popcorn. I sent the mill off about a week and a half ago, but I had to send it to Le Chef, which is the company responsible for servicing their mills, and I was shocked, actually, pleasantly surprised to get a package yesterday in the mail. It was out in the rain, and so the outer box got wet, and we didn't even know what the package was because I didn't know that they were even sending this. But we got a packing slip, and I'm gonna just do an unboxing to show you what you get when you open up the NutriMill Classic. There are different levels of NutriMill grain grinders. I will say that the NutriMill Classic is obviously the classic. It's not the fanciest, but it has been a solid grain mill for us for, I think I was doing the math, 16 at least years. So yeah, here we go. So like I said, the outer box was wet, and we opened it this morning. We didn't even know it was inside. And so then the inner box we have here, and came with a packing slip with my name on it, and basically explaining why it had broken because of the popcorn in it. And the correspondent from NutriMill that I spoke to said that is no reason that the mill should have broken. It can definitely handle popcorn. And so on the outside of this, here you can see the box. The NutriMill, I'm trying to share my lap with a cat. Okay, we have the NutriMill Classic, and it's just like my old one. I'll say that the knobs are black on this one, and the knobs on my old one were gray. So it's not a big change, but the design is the same. Okay, what I want to read to you, the specs on this: it holds 20 cups of grain. In other words, it will crank out 20 cups. It says it's whisper mill technology, and I will have to say, it's not really like a whisper. It's pretty loud to me, but from the reviews that I was reading, this mill is actually quieter than the Wonder Mill. This mill used to be called the Whisper Mill, and then they, sometime over maybe 20 years ago, they changed the name to NutriMill, and so that's what it remains. It's a 1200 watt motor, and so we have to watch with our solar that we're doing it on a day that can handle that. It says dust-free milling. I know my other one, it ended up getting a small hole in the bottom of it, and so I always had dust. But then it's got the stainless steel milling heads, and I can vouch for those because we did see into the milling head, and they seem strong. I don't really know how it broke, but it
says mill these great grains and more: amaranth, spelt, mung bean, quinoa, rye, buckwheat, lentils, millet, black rice, white beans.
Obviously it mills wheat, and obviously it mills corn. Those are, I don't know why they listed all these things on here, and then they didn't list the most common ones, which would be wheat and corn. I guess everybody assumes it will do wheat and corn. I'm just tickled pink because I had no idea when that thing broke. We really planned on Black Friday to replace it, and they had a really good deal. It was like $100 off. And so just before I bought it, just before I reordered it, I called them just to figure out what I had done wrong. And he didn't think that I had done anything wrong. And they didn't leave any correspondence as to what it was. They just left a packing slip and then that little tag on there letting me know that it was mine. They have a different blender, not a blender, but a grain grinder that is, it's like wooden, and it goes into, it's not stacked like this one. See, this one is, you just have to look on their website. This one is stacked. The grain goes here, it goes to the through the grinding part, and then it goes down into this bowl or reservoir. But the other one is more, I guess, like the NutriMill, in that it has a canister and then it goes into a bowl on the side. You see my helpers? I have two good helpers. This one, Smudge, and Stripey. We call her Stripey little buddy, and Smudge, sometimes she's Cookie, sometimes she's, I don't know. Okay, this is something that you want to hold on to, and my last one came with two. This is the filter, and I will have to say, this filter, you can look at the texture of it. It feels different than my last one. My last one felt more scratchy. This one's more soft, almost like a sponge. So I hope they sent me two, because I don't know, if anything is going to get lost, it's going to be this. Here's the thing. It is heavy, pretty heavy. Okay, and I have no idea what all the other stuff is in this box. It looks like paper straws, which I'm not sure what that's about. Paper straws from NutriMill. Okay, I've never used paper straws. I'm not sure why they thought that was a thing to send as a gift. It looks like there's about 20. Well, that's amazing. Okay, and there's a thank you card in here. Upon disassembly of the mill, teeth were found to be broken on both milling heads. The mill is not repairable and is being replaced with an R2 unit. I don't know what R2 unit means. Thank you for letting us service your mill, and this is from Bob. I never dreamed that they would give me a personalized thank you for this. That's amazing. I'm so impressed. This company, when I called them, I think I told you before, I was impressed with them. I spoke with a man named Dave in the repair department of NutriMill, and he encouraged me to send it in, even though it was like 16 years old. So yes, I feel like they're a very reputable company, and the day of handwritten notes seems to be in the past, and so when you get something even from a company, that kind of does let you know that they care. Okay, so then you have your package of papers and stuff explaining it. Oh, here's the other picture of the other one, that wooden one. Somebody's car alarm is going off. I don't know whose that might be. And NutriMill and Bosch are the same company. We do have a Bosch stand mixer. We do not have this one. We have a different one. We have probably the old version, where we used to have a blender that would go on it, and so we had a blender, a stand mixer, all in one, and I used that all the time when I was making bread. I need to get it out of storage soon and start making some bread again. So here's the instruction book and recipe book, and then owner's manual. This owner's manual looks a lot like the old owner's manual, and then I'm going to actually look through this to make sure that I don't do anything wrong. Warranty information.
They guarantee the whole mill for 5 years, parts and plastic, and limited lifetime on motor and milling heads. Defective product will be repaired or replaced with a comparable model at our sole discretion upon receiving the defective product.
And I will say, I had to spend like $26 to send it, so it was a risk.
It doesn't include damage from accident, misuse, shipping, normal wear, commercial use, neglect, incidental or consequential damages, or from damage caused by any foreign object getting into the mill. If the mill is disassembled, the warranty will be void.
So I need to keep a dated sales receipt, and I will do that. We have had, let's see, since we got our original mill, we had 2 moves. We moved one place in Greenville, and then we moved out here, and everything has been in storage for 5 years. So putting my hands on that receipt, he gave me the benefit of the doubt, and I sent it in, and I'm just very impressed. So yeah, this looks very similar. Actually, this feels different. It feels more rubbery. Actually, it feels maybe more sturdy, and the plastic on top feels more rubbery than the one that I had many years ago. The other one was like slick, and this one is more white. Of course, mine might have aged with time. You know what I don't notice is the extra hopper. That's interesting. Okay, so I have the basic mill here, and the bowl comes, the reservoir comes out, just like my old one, and this reservoir does have the other filter in it. So everything is sealed. This part is sealed. There's another part that is on the back, that this part where the cord is sealed, and it feels a lot sturdier than the last one. Our last one was very just like rubbery, and this is a retractable cord, and ours eventually stopped retracting, and then this little thing unplugged. And so at some point flour did get into that compartment. So it doesn't look like they sent us the top thing. It's about 1.5 inches, but no problem. We already have one from our last mill, which I will use, and it looks like the exact same size. So let me show you inside. And the hopper just makes it taller. It says do not mill oily grains, oats, seeds. Popcorn is a seed. I'm gonna have to check with them. Nuts, sugars, or spices. I will double check with them on the popcorn. And see, I was wrong. Okay, so they did send the extra hopper in there. It's just wedged in here. Glad I have my helpers. So that goes on top here. And actually, this is a little bit different. The old one did not have these tabs on it, and so it could slide around, but now this one has it has tabs that fit into slots, and so that's it's a better design. And then I noticed also that this little collection chamber at the bottom of the filter is smaller in this one. It was a little bit larger. I am so happy because it's like getting a new machine. Well, it is getting a new machine. Yeah, you just slide it on there. You put your grains in there. The lid can be sticky at first few times, and they just recommend putting a little bit of cornstarch around there, and I was doing that even years later around the seals so that it doesn't catch. And so I will be grinding some more stuff. Definitely we're going to be using this for wheat, and I am going to check with them before I do any more popcorn, because you know popcorn is really hard, although it says it can do white beans, which they seem kind of on par with hardness. But I will say that when I called the man, he told me that popcorn was no problem. So, but it is a seed, and seeds can be more oily than a bean. So yeah, I will double check. I'll look through the owner's manual, because I don't want to do anything to compromise this. But we had been told initially when we got our first one that we could do popcorn. Of course, don't use rolled oats. Do not mill steel cut oats or rolled oats. You can do whole oat groats, which, you know, that's interesting. It says, I'm going to look on the things it will do. Use caution when doing dried sweet corn. Do not do rolled oats, steel cut oats, sesame, flax, sunflower, chia, nuts, coffee beans, spices, goji beans, herbs, hemp, sugar. Why would you mill sugar? Dried fruit or vegetables, tapioca, chocolate, or sprouted grains or beans, unless they're thoroughly dried. Oh, yeah, right here. It says it will mill the following, and right on the top of the list is popcorn. Now, I don't know if it's going to come into focus, but it does say popcorn there. Whether you can see it or not, it's there. So it will do the following. I might as well tell you because you might want to know.
Lentils, chickpeas.
Chickpeas are really hard to mill. I broke 4 to 6 Vitamix dry containers on chickpeas, and they kept telling me yes, it will do chickpeas, and so they just kept replacing them. But then when it went out of warranty, I was out of luck, and I did my corn in that for a long time.
Lima beans, soy, anasazi beans, mung beans, black beans, kidney, navy, split peas, popcorn, blue corn, oat groats, white rice, brown rice, wild rice, sorghum, millet, buckwheat, quinoa, amaranth, kamut, hard wheat, soft wheat, spelt, barley, farro, rye, bulgur wheat, teff, and
Kaniwa, which I've never heard of. It sort of sounds like quinoa, but it's spelled K-A-N-I-W-A. And it already said it would do quinoa, K-W-I-N-O-A. So it must be a different kind, and it looks kind of Spanish. The one part I didn't tell you about was just how the bowl slides in, and I guess you could surmise that from me taking it out. But this is where the grinding takes place. It's a little housing in there with the grinder parts. And so this part is you can only put it one way. You just put the pointy end first, and there is a seal right here that keeps it's supposed to keep the flour from getting up into the motor, and it's also supposed to keep it clean. So here you go, you just slide it in, and there you go. This is the side view, and I have taken the extra hopper off because I'm gonna store this until I use it. And that's that. And yes, this is didn't show you this part initially. This is where you do the, it says feed rate. So they actually changed that. It was called something else before. And this is the motor. So this is, on this side is high and this side is low, and you better believe I'm gonna be grinding my popcorn on low. So I'm already setting it on low. And then the feed rate, how fast the corn goes into the mill, low and high. And so, once you turn this on, the machine comes on. Obviously it's not plugged in right now, but cranking it all the way up, it just sucks it in really fast. And so, everybody's always impatient, but I think that for the life of my machine, I'm gonna learn patience. I'm gonna do it at a slower rate and just wait a little while longer and not try to do it really fast, although I don't really know if it matters. Let me know if you have any experience with the speed and the motor speed. I did read, after mine broke, I did read that it's better to do hard grains at a slower rate, and then softer grains, and I'm not sure what a softer grain would be, I guess like soft wheat that will make a fluffier flour, you can do at a higher rate. And so since I am aware of all those little teeth now, I'm just gonna be kind to my machine. Okay, I'm not gonna mill any right now because we are under cloudy skies. I don't know the state of our batteries right now, and so I'm gonna keep this for a sunny day. I'm just kind of cracked up that they gave me the straws, but I feel like this is just a little gift. I feel like it's a sweet gesture of niceness from the NutriMill company. And in the meantime, since my grain mill broke, and since I was wondering, do I replace this directly, or do I go with the Wonder Mill or another like fancier version, I still was solid on this mill, even though my last one broke. Like I said, it had been like 16 or 17 years. Okay, so that's pretty good. Some of the reasons why I had decided on this one was because it was listed as quieter than the Wonder Mill, and it did say that it would do hard things, I believe, a little bit better. I had done some side-by-side comparisons because the Wonder Mill looks like an excellent mill. I think this one might be slightly faster. It had a little bit more power, but both of them, I read lots of reviews on Amazon for the Wonder Mill, and people love it. It's great. And so you have to look at what you are going to use and decide what is going to be best for you, because we have friends who do the Wonder Mill, and then another off-grid vlogger channel, they got their Wonder Mill recently and they really like it. I just think it's what you decide, what you're going to mill the most of. We happen to be doing a lot of popcorn, and eventually we'll be doing wheat. I have some wheat stored still, and the reason I'm not doing wheat now is because we're still building. We're not in our kitchen. We're living in our camper. My oven is like this big, and so when I make bread, I like to make bread, like several loaves at a time. It's not going to happen in this camper. Plus, our oven in this camper is very temperamental. It's probably on its last leg, but we're not going to be in here forever. So it's either broiling or it's not cooking them, and there's not much in between, and that doesn't work for bread. So anyway, that is the unboxing of the NutriMill plus the straws. I think it's a wonderful company. So glad that I am going to be back to milling soon, and I hope you love our babies. I hope you love our babies. This one is little Betty. He's a big, big lover. And he likes to ride on your shoulder like Chucky did. This one is Cookie, or sometimes we call her Cookie, sometimes we call her Smudge. We haven't settled on all their names yet. She's our sweet baby that we rescued, and you can see the video about that. I think I made a couple videos about these babies. They have been a real joy to our family. So thank you for coming along, checking out the progress of the grain mill. Be sure to check out the video about grinding corn. Usually it works really well, and I'm going to be back in the cornbread soon. Have a great day and keep grinding. Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you don't care. Subscribe, give a like, and give a comment. Have you ground any popcorn? Do you grind any of your own grains? And what kind do you like? Some people were asking about the hand crank ones, and I would really like to get one of those, but they're almost as expensive as the power ones. So it's an investment for the future, but you know, since we did not have to replace this one, maybe when we're done with our house, we can invest in a hand crank one, because it's really nice for any time that you don't have power. I will say that to get 22 cups of flour by hand, I'm going to grow some muscles if I were to do that. Yes. All right. This wraps up our video. Thank you for watching.